Yes, today we will be taking an interview of a young lady who just turned 16 years of age. Her name is Angelique Fitzgerald. Angelique, my name is Kevin Woods, and I am the owner and operator of RAIN Recovery, which stands for Reaching At-Risk Youth Nationwide. Today I just want to ask a few questions for our viewers so that they can get a clearer understanding of what's happening in our communities today. Can you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Angelique Fitzgerald.
And your age is?
I'm 16.
And you live in where?
I live in Philadelphia, PA.
Okay, and were you raised in Philadelphia?
Yes.
And when you were raised in Philadelphia, how was your life growing up from a young lady, well, a young girl to a young lady as you are today?
It was hard. It was confusing. Things were happening. I was changing. I was getting older.
Okay. Now, when I noticed that you're being homeschooled now, at one time you were in public school. Tell me about the public schools in your area and the name of the school.
Because it's in Kappa. It's a high school. It was a good high school, but I didn't want to go there anymore. So.
And what was the reasoning for not going to that school?
It wasn't hard. It was just a lot of classes and a lot of movement and a lot of people.
So it was a little confusing going to a school, a lot of mixtures of different people from different backgrounds, ethnicities, and such things as that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you have sisters?
Yes.
How many sisters do you have?
I have 2.
Okay, I wanted to ask you a question about your sisters. What is your relationship with them, being though that you are the oldest and the youngest is what? How old is she?
11.
How has life been for the 3 of you growing up?
It's hard. When my mom, she had to work, so most of the time it was me babysitting, or there was a babysitter. And our connection is good. Like, we understand each other. We get along sometimes. Sometimes we don't. We have our arguments and disagreements.
So is it safe to say that you felt that you had to grow up quickly into the young lady that you are because of some elements that are around you with school, peer pressure, the neighborhood that you grew up in?
Yes.
So what steps are you taking to better and secure your future?
Well, right now I'm trying to finish high school, trying to get a job so I can help my mom and to help my sisters out. Okay,
so with doing that, I noticed that sometimes in our communities, young women go through a lot of struggles as far as the mother, the absent father. Could you tell us a little bit about your relationship with your father?
It's not a good one.
And could you tell us why?
My dad never did anything for me, never bought anything for me. Really, we just started talking like 2 years ago. So. Okay,
now growing up, did you notice that your life was different because the father was absent? And did you also, were you also wishing that you can get a stronger bond with your father?
No, I didn't wish that I had a stronger bond with my father, and I had a father. It was my mom.
Okay, now tell the viewers how you feel about your father and why, because a lot of viewers that tune in to RAIN Recovery, they too are suffering the same loss of a father figure, of a male being in the household. I mean, how does that really affect a young lady in life, and where do you get the strength to move forward in your life?
Well, right about now, my dad is living in a halfway house. He has no job. The only time he really can provide for us is when his fiance gives him money. And ever since I was little, it was always like my dad was never there. And then when I needed him the most, he wasn't there either. It was always my mom. I look at my dad as not even a dad, just a person that's there, just someone I could go and talk to, like a friend. But other than that, me and my dad really don't get along like that.
So your little sister, her name is Zoe, and she's 11 years old. How is her relationship with your father?
Oh, she loves him. They go to play basketball. They go to the park. They go to when he gets money and he gives her money. They go to the store. They have fun together.
Now, does that affect you in some way, being though you are his first child, you are the oldest child of the three? Does that affect you in some type of way?
No, because growing up he wasn't there, so it really didn't matter.
So you're saying you were used to his absence,
Yeah.
so therefore it didn't really bother you at the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I want to ask you a few questions about peer pressure. In the community that you grew up in, just watching news or hearing friends talk in the street, what do you think is the biggest issue that we face today in an urban area dealing with black young women?
Well, teenagers such as my age being pregnant, having unprotected sex, doing drugs, and doing a lot of more things that they're not supposed to be doing.
Okay. Did you ever think about doing maybe some mentoring for at-risk youth? I mean, because you speak very well. You have a great vocabulary. You're a beautiful young lady. And I think that you can really reach out to young women in your community and really try to help them. Have you ever given that any type of thought?
No, I haven't heard about it till recently, so.
Okay, and so do you think that may be a path that you could venture out to helping other people, and maybe that could help you stay focused?
Maybe.
Okay, so I have just a few more questions. One of my questions is about the drugs in this neighborhood. I noticed recently that the SEPTA police have stepped up operations up on Somerset, and they have been visual in the neighborhoods. Does that some kind of way make you feel a little safer in your neighborhood?
No, not really.
And could you tell us why?
Well, ever since I was younger, there's always been drug dealers out here. They're not going to go away. They're not going to stop doing what they do. So, I don't know, like just going out, walking around, like just to go down, like if I go to the park, there's drug dealers in the park. Like, it's just how I grew up. Like, I'm really not scared of them. They don't scare me. It's just what they do.
So, do you think that the police Philadelphia are doing enough to protect young teenagers in our community?
No, not really.
And do you know why, or do you have any reasoning for it?
Well, they're not always out. Like, during, like, a certain time at night, they stop coming out. So, they're not always out or always around to see what goes on or what happens.
Okay, and how do you stay focused and away from the drugs? I mean, because it's so prevalent in our community that they're all over the place. I mean, I see young girls prostituting, 13 years old, 14 years old, junkies. I seen a man the other day who OD'd as I walked by. You know, I don't know if he was deceased or not, but in the car, slumped over the wheel. I mean, how do you focus your attention on your life and to stay away from harmful drugs? I mean, is there something that happened in your life? I know that you have shared with me before that your father was using drugs and alcohol, and is it something that you've seen in him that makes you not want to do that?
Well, actually, it was something that I saw in my mom.
Tell us about that.
My mom, when she used to drink, it got so bad that she passed out on the couch and was passed out for 3 days.
Whoa.
So I really didn't know, like, I was young and I really didn't know what to do. So I just figured, hey, she's sleeping, but she was really, like, unconscious. But after that, she stopped drinking. She started going to meetings and she got clean. And now she's a good mom.
Now, how many years now has she been clean?
I think it's about 5 or 6.
That's good. That's good. So she has been an example for you. Like most moms in our communities, they are the ones who have the strength. You know, as a young black woman in any city, any urban city, it is hard for them to raise children on their own. I know that she was married to your stepfather, and she told me a little bit about that situation, which I'll be having an interview with her about it. But what was that effect for you? She told me that some things have happened over the last 7 years that have truly put an effect on her life as well as you guys' lives.
Well, recently in like May, I didn't want to fight him, but I had to because we were arguing and he really thought like he could just hit me, and he's not my dad. So when me and him were fighting, what made me stop was the way my mom fell when my mom got in the middle and he hit her. And I just looked at her, and all I could do was cry and walk away. And then I told her it was just like, Mom, I can't live with you, so I moved out for 2 months.
So you were gone for 2 months, and where were you for those 2 months, and how did you feel?
I was across the street at my grandma's house, and I just felt like she really took his side of the rights.
Okay. And do you know that most young women who have children, you know, they are always looking for a father figure for their children, especially when the father's absent, and they tend to deal with a lot of things that they shouldn't deal with in life, the beatings, the alcohol, the mistrust, the abusive conversations, and the negative comments. This is something as a learning lesson that you should utilize to stay away from yourself. My advice to you and all young girls like you is that you should get your strength, your inner strength, find your power, and to utilize that to stay clean, stay sober, and stay conscious of everything that is around you. Because one thing for sure is that mothers are the ones that are the nurturers. They stay there for you. They go through thick and thin. They go through ups and downs. And it is very important that we, as a community, support the mothers, help them, back them. And I truly would just want to thank you for this interview. I know that this was a hard thing for you to do, but I appreciate your honesty. I look forward to doing another interview with you. And for our viewers, I just want to say that you'll be able to see this young lady more often. More videos will be coming from her. You can see them at rainrecovery.blogspot.com, or you can go on to rainrecovery.weebly.com. Please stay tuned. We'll be coming to you live with other events very soon. We thank you for your time, Angelique, and we wish you much success.
Thank you.